Good evening. Together we're with Inge Blei, Gerard van Charldorp and Arno van Ham, and me, myself, Willem Peeters. We're going to speak about awareness of body. The awareness of body is a very broad subject, so we will split this in several sessions. I give the floor to Inge Blei, who will give an introduction why the awareness of the body is very important in today's society.
Thank you, Willem. We'll start making a connection to the consciousness, the influx of information, the information that's become available and increasingly so is becoming increasingly difficult to process by our brain. So therefore, you have results such as loss of information, feelings of tension because your system wants to absorb the information, but there's an overflow and there's a lack of translation time. It also causes stress, affects your brain directly, therefore brain chemicals. Okay. We are now hearing bits and pieces about actually your entire body can be supportive of the brain or is actually part of brain function. By becoming aware of how your body is working, what it is doing, your system will be more easily able to integrate the information. You have two major sections of thought. There's intellect connecting with the mind. Then there's intellect connecting with the spirit. Often in times of stress or increased pace of information flow, these two stay separate, thereby causing imbalance. It's actually balance that we're looking for. The greater the balance, the greater the capacity to expand your consciousness and absorb and process. So imbalance also causes that you're absorbing, but you're not able to process. Symptoms can range from sleeplessness, trouble sleeping. It can lead to exhaustion, nervousness, feeling not quite right. In order to support your entire system, we want to look at how can we help our body, which I call the biological system. We start by being aware. Do you feel the tension only in your mind, or is the tension now traveling to your body? Little simple things. How are you walking? Are you walking straight? Is your back straight? Are you walking as if you're overburdened? All these also affect your state of mind. So state of mind, your physical condition, they're all now reaching a critical point of needing to come together. Literally body, mind, spirit, soul. In order to have enough stability, they must integrate and calibrate so that each is supporting and an extension of the other and no longer viewed as separate parts of you. It all becomes one. Since the three-dimensional world is very much about what you can see, what you can hear, the five senses, etc. But you can touch. The body is an excellent place to start becoming aware of other things, but using the body as your grounding point, your foundation. Okay, I'd like to give the floor to someone else, so it's not just about my perspective.
No, thank you, Inge. As you all heard, there were some terms mentioned, so as spirit and mind and body. These subjects will be discussed in later talks which we have, because there's a broad sense to talk about. Gerard, what is your awareness of your body? How do you process all these information which is floating around us?
To make contact with myself, to become one with your spirit, and to make a connection to the universe.
Correct, but did you take lessons to do that, or does it come naturally for a lot of people?
You have to be in a state of, how do you call it? Your spirit has to be awake, and then you can make a connection with yourself. So, yeah, that's so. This is the way I do it.
Okay, thank you. Arno, how do you be aware of your body?
I experience my body as a receiver, sometimes from the mind, sometimes to the spirit. That's how I see it. For instance, with my mind, when there is danger, my body will react. When there is a spirit around me, I get some goosebumps in my body. So my body is a receiver and at the same time an interpreter that interprets what is happening around me.
Okay. A question to all of you. What's the difference being conscious of your body and aware of your body? Because a lot of people can make the right distinction between to be aware of their body and to be conscious of their body. Inge, what's your view on this?
Okay, this is, here we go in the meaning of words and how they're used. That's also for another conversation, but we're talking about how do I look at it. You can be conscious, you're conscious, your system is conscious of breathing, it's conscious of temperatures. Being aware for me is more that you are completely aware. You're not on automatic pilot. A lot of times when we're in conscious state, we're on an automatic pilot. We no longer think of how am I picking up my leg? How am I placing my foot? When you are aware, you pull the information from your subconscious. Here we go. When things become easy for you and you just do it automatically, that information of the process has been dropped down to your subconscious. When you are aware, with that word I mean you pull that information in the process to a conscious level where it's right here, no longer subconscious. It's all consciousness, but you're actually aware of how you're placing your foot. You then become aware that your chest is open. You're no longer breathing from your throat. So you're aware. Part of your intellect is going to these processes and registering through the brain. You see, and that's where the marriage between the mind and the intellect, born out of intellect, then there's a marriage between that and the mind connected to the spirit. The spirit is the energetic side of you, not the biological energy alone that makes your heart beat, etc., etc. But it's that energy that you don't normally address and guide. You see this happening and you see this awareness in people who practice Qigong. various levels, of course. They are consciously, while in an aware state, they are in an altered state, and they're working the energy that normally people are conscious of, but that actually has dropped down to a subconscious level. And I'm going to, sorry, but I'll have to also explain there. I work with 3 levels of consciousness as main levels. There's a conscious state, I'm consciously speaking. Then there's the subconscious state that allows me to pull information and share with you. Then there's the unconscious state that is a program that runs that we don't have access to. So it's like you have a laptop, you have your little hard drive, but somehow it's connected to a mainframe somewhere on the other side of the world. That's how we look at it. That's the unconscious state. In the past, most people talk about conscious, subconscious. In between, of course, there are layers. I'm kind of getting away from the subject.
Can you also say that about awareness? That you have different levels in awareness?
Yes. Yes. You can be aware, and this is what they have a lot with, an obvious one is seeing eyewitnesses for, let's say, a crime. Your body is aware, your eyes are aware, your brain registers things they see, but when they ask, what did you see? Suddenly they cannot remember the color of the car. And then you go through hypnosis to pull that back to the surface. So you also have different levels of awareness. Yes, that's correct. So it gets kind of confusing, and that's where meditation can help. But as you know, I give meditations a little bit differently than what people are used to. My meditations are that you're alert and you remain aware of where you're at and what you're doing, and at the same time increase the frequency so you then have achieved what people call an altered state. I see it as a more complete state, but we're trying to stay within the verbiage that people are accustomed to, so we'll just call it altered state, and that's actually what meditation is. No more than and no less. It depends on how do you work with that altered state that creates the possibility for more or less. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Arno, how do you make sure that you're all the time, every minute of the day, aware of your body? What do? You go to what we call an alternate state, or are you focused?
It depends. Normally, I experience awareness of part of the state of being in the situation.
Okay, but can you explain for the listeners the difference between state of mind and state of being, so that will clarify?
Like I said, state of being is connected with awareness that I am here in the now, in the situation. Mind is when you are in a situation that you experience in your own, in your head, in the person. How do you look at the situation? And it depends on the mood, it depends on other information that you see about the situation. So that is how I see difference between state of mind but awareness in the mind still has to do with how do you feel, what did you, what bring you.
Sometimes the sound's not completely clear, so I will go to Gerard. Sorry, Arno. Gerard, how do you make yourself being aware of your body and still functioning in the normal 3D world? What do you do?
It's a process that you keep it on a short backup and you rely on it. And if I work,
I think we lost connection with all. Sorry. Sorry, the everything went still. So can you repeat, please, Gerard?
If I'm working, then I always keep 50% open with my body to connect. And if something happens, then I can go to 100% of consciousness.
Okay, but what do you mean to be 50% open? For the stimuli around you? Or?
That is like a process what always is working. You know, if I'm awake, then I always get all the vibes in my how you call it? In my
say it in Dutch. We will translate.
In my omgeving.
Okay, so all you pick up all the vibes, your surroundings, and you react on that, and that is on one hand what you can call awareness of the body, because you react on situations which will occur around you.
Yeah, and you have to be aware what's happening. So you have to sometimes at the end of the day you look again what's happened that day. So
yeah, but then you look more in depth, because a lot of people when they come home they talk about their work and they had a very nice day or they had an awful day, but they just talk and they don't take in the experience, and you also take in the experience what really happened.
It is a sort like a review.
Okay, thank you all, because yes.
Willem, could I say just a few more words about state of mind versus state of body?
Yes, please.
Okay. I find it helpful that I explain to people, and that's unfortunately you couldn't hear everything Arno was saying, but the state of mind is very vulnerable to emotions. I look at the state of being as you are in charge of the way you are being at that point in time. We are allowed to have emotions, but if your state of mind is, let's say, you're in a bad mood, that can affect decisions that you're making. It can also affect your vibration. If you then allow the state of mind to be submissive to your decision, then you can absorb whatever is troubling you with your state of mind into your state of being, which is bigger package. The bad mood becomes very small. The state of being remains stable. Also with the body and how Arno works, similar to mine, and also Gerard's aware of that. How do we do this? We keep things like a pilot light on. We're alert, but we are so aware, we acknowledge that our body is also an antenna, a receiver. So when our body tells us something, we pay attention. Some people get so busy, their body reacts, but they ignore it and they say, I have to get this done first. Whereas once you are more in tune and you're no longer on only automatic pilot, constantly, you could be on automatic pilot, but there's always a little sensor that says, hey, you need to pay attention. You then pay attention to what your body is saying and you're alerted to your environment. And of course, for some people it requires practice, but it's doable for everyone. This is what awareness of the body can help us do. Awareness of the body is also in layers, because as you practice, and a good place to start is also breathing exercises. Become aware of your breathing. What are you doing? And posture. Those little things, once it's part of your system, you no longer have to go through an entire list in a thinking process. It becomes a natural flow. And that's when we are capable of remaining aware of our bodies while we're doing other things and using our bodies as a receiver. So I know that when Arno was talking, a lot of information was lost, so I wanted to bring some of these points
Yes, thank you very much.
into the conversation. Thank you.
Okay, the reason we don't want to make the videos too long, so that everybody's awareness and focus will be on what we are saying. We would love to have your question and remarks, and because this will be the part of a discussion not only by the four of us, but with more people, so that everybody has their own insights, so that we can learn. What's the most important to be aware of your body is also to be aware of yourself, and you only can be aware of yourself if you get more information also from other people. So that is what we strive for, what we want. So I hope you enjoy it, and we will meet you next time. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.